Estimates revision. That's probably one of the most important metrics that you need to follow when you want to invest in stocks. So have a look at this, listen in. We have all the revision and revision score on the estimates. All right, let's have a look at the revision widget for stock. So this is Lululemon. We're gonna look at revision for this stock. Very important to know. The matrix is actually the numbers, the actual numbers that were published for that company. And then the revisions are estimated numbers that are coming from Wall Street from analysts. Right, so you can see 3 tabs here, the summary, RS2 and RS revision score data. So let's go into revision score data. So the first, what we did is we look at the current quarter, next quarter, current year, next year estimated coming from Wall Street, and we track the change in between those two, all those numbers, right? So it's kind of difficult to figure out which one's growing or not, or faster and this and that. So we compute all the price change, the revision change from 60 days, 30 days, 7 days, and the latest. And then we increase the revision score based on some scoring on the change of each of those numbers. That way you only have one number to follow, right? Not all of these, right? So that number is the revision score that you can see here. So it went 90 days ago from 17 to 24, right? So if we go into the summary tab here, we can see it went, it's increasing lately by 20%. So if we go back to the data, that 20% is here. And it's also increasing a good chunk since the 90-day mark. So the actual change that you really want to look at is the 20% here. That 20% is the change. So let me shut off the other charts here. It's the change since the earning date. So the earning date was on the 8th of September 2021, which was about here, right? So since that day, the revision score went up 20%. Why it's important? Because that's the new quarter, and that's the new view of Wall Street analysts on the stock, right? So that number is very important. So this is where what you monitor here. It went up 44% in the last 90 days and 20% since the beginning of the quarter. That's 11 analysts giving their estimates. Those estimates are coming from Zacks Financial, so it's high quality research. On top of that, we've added another revision score called RS2. So RS2 and RSS. So let me shut this off here. So those are two similar metrics from another source, FinHub. And what we do here, we have much more analysts, a broader group of analysts following the stock. And we have the same thing. It works the same way. So you have the revision score and the revision score of sales. So this is the revision score of earning per share, and it's the revision score of sales. So how do you get the data? You click on RS2 data, and here you have the earning per share revision score number 2, right? And you see the value here, 3.7. 7 days ago it was 1.8. 30 days it was 0.8. You can see all the numbers. You see the numbers are more granular. I have all the quarters going forward and the years, and also the change. So if I click on change, I can see which one's growing or not growing or changing or not, right? And then there's this percent change here that is computed inside the revision score. Same for sales. I click here and I have the same for sales, where I can see the actual sales values in millions going forward all the way 5 years, and I can see the change of all these values, right? So those two metrics are brand new, so you'll see them starting to be painted on the chart here going forward, but I think it complements the other research from Zach, so you can see the curves, all 3 of them eventually pointing upward or downward. Right, so very useful. It's a very important indicator for you to follow. The revision score is really what's moving the stock, and a leading indicator, so it's super important. So what you can do is you can go in the screener, revision estimates here, and what you do is there's all those criteria here. So the revision score is here, obviously in red, because it's an important field. But the revision sequential change is probably one of the most important. Remember, this is the change since the beginning of the quarter, a percent change in revision score since the beginning of the quarter. So here I can find it and I can filter. Let's say I want all the stocks that have a positive revision change since the beginning of the quarter. And here I am, right? So I have Agilent, Alcoa, and so on. So I can click on Alcoa, and then I can see that it did go up a lot, 77% since the beginning of the quarter. And the quarter was on the 15th of July, so about here, right? So it went up 77%. So that's quite high, right? It was negative, and now it's still negative, but going up. So I think that it's not really important if the revision score is negative or positive. What's really important is the growth of it, the change. Other interesting fields you can get here are the long-term growth estimates from Wall Street. That's pretty useful. And the 3 months revision change. 3 months revision change is really the 90-day change of the revision. So it gives you the broad trend of the revision. Always super useful. So yeah, I mean, other fields, you can look it up. The revision change last is really useful as well. That's the last 7 days change. So it's really granular. If you click on the little information button, it's last 7 day change. So that is also very, very useful. We also created a very quick revision winner search. So you click here and you get a pre-can searches about revision. So again, very useful with key metrics. All right, let us know if you have questions.